Okay, if you're an e-commerce brand, you need to take a look at this because there's two settings with your Klaviyo pop-up that could be costing you tens of thousands of dollars a month, right? When this client came to us in February, we told them, hey, it's costing you about $19,000 a month. I'm going to show you what it is. I'll show you how to change it. It doesn't take very long. Let's take a look, right? So this brand comes to us middle of February. They're like, hey, let's get an audit done. Let's see what's going on. I pull up the stats for their pop-up and I'm like seeing $38,000 of revenue coming in from their pop-up form. The 3% submit rate, not great, not terrible, definitely is a bit of work. 437 submits. It's a high OV product, but this brand's like, hey, like, I mean, this is doing pretty good, right? Like we're getting almost $40,000 of revenue coming in, people are coming in ready to buy. And I'm like, there's an issue here and you need to pay attention. So 437 submits is the key number. And when you come down into their welcome flow, right? The first series in their welcome flow, first email in their welcome flow series, you have 279 people receiving it. 38% of people that came into this flow dropped off. 157 leads, right? There's 157 people who raised their hand to say, I'm interested in making a purchase. Yes, I'd like to get a discount. In this case, it was a 10% discount. That just didn't get the discount. They weren't able to complete their purchase, right? They weren't able to go and do this. So what's going on? Let's take a look. So here are the two issues and the two settings that you need to change. First, this is a snapshot from the last page of their pop-up form, right? Thanks for subscribing. Check your email for a confirmation message. I feel like every second brand I take a look at is doing this. I don't really know why, but this is one of the main issues here, right? The other one is the opt-in process. This comes standard set up by Klaviyo. It's recommended. It's best practices. It's wrong. Okay, don't be doing it. So you're making people double opt-in before they get sent any emails, which means it sends them a handshake email to say, hey, do you want to receive information from this brand? Guess what? 38% of people don't do that, right? And so what you're doing with your pop-up form is you're adding all this friction to people who are raising their hand to make a purchase. That's not what it's for. You may as well just take the whole damn form off, right? So you get a handshake email. What does it look like? I mean, you can optimize, you can change these, but again, what's the point? Just get rid of it, right? You get a boring generic email saying, confirm your subscription. So like this person's like, I'm not trying to subscribe. I'm trying to get a 10% discount. Why are you sending me a subscription thing? Who's this brand? Obviously, it's going to be up here. What's going on? But fine, yes, I want to subscribe. Obviously, you can see that 62% of people were doing that. Unbelievably so. So he sends them to a confirmation form. Thanks, you've been subscribed. You're going to get another email from us, right? So then now this person who is browsing on their phone, more than likely in 2026, has entered their details into the pop-up. They've had to close out of that browser, go into their mail, find this confirm your subscription, which they weren't looking for anyway. They're looking for a discount code. So if they're skimming it, they ain't going to see it probably. Is it in their spam? Is it in their primary? Is it in their promotions? Did they put a typo in the email address? There's so many things that can go wrong that they're not even going to get this confirmation message. Then they're going to see it. It's not branded. It's generic. And even if it is branded, why are you wasting your time doing that? Then they have to get another email to come in, right? Does that take a minute? Does it take 5 minutes? It really depends. Who knows? Does it go to the same folder location? Who knows, right? So you're adding all this friction to your pop-up when people are raising their hand being like, yo, I want to make a purchase. Give me a discount, okay? Finally, they get the email. It comes through, and a lot of people are using unique welcome codes, right? So thank God they're so easy to remember, right? BXMKKN85. Oh, I can remember that, no problem, right? Try copying that on your mobile phone, by the way. Absolutely impossible. It's so annoying, right? And then you're going to send them back to the website. And even worse, it's not even going to attach to the profile. They're going to have to copy or remember that code. If it's welcome 10, welcome 15, or whatever it is, you're still asking the customer to do work. You're asking them to remember it, or you're asking them to copy this crazy code, right? If you put it in the form, it will attach to the profile. They don't need to do anything, right? They're going to be able to buy frictionless, right? So these are the settings you got to change. I'm going to show you the financial impact right now. So for this brand that we audited, quick summary, you're forcing someone to go into the email. Like I said, if they're on mobile, which is, 70, 80, 90% of your traffic, depending on your niche, you're making them complete an opt-in handshake. And if they're not doing that opt-in handshake, you're still making them go to their email and copy this really annoying code. and then going back to the shop, it doesn't attach. They have to remember to add it to the checkout. Otherwise, you're gonna be getting emails being like, oh, you told me you get a 10% code, you didn't put it on my first order, and you like have to go in and refund them the 10%. Like it's just, I see it all the time with brands that come to us. It's just so much friction. It's so much extra work. The job of marketing, pop-up ads, is to remove friction from the sales process, overcome objections, make it as easy as possible for someone to buy. So why would you make it harder for them to buy it with your pop-up? Okay, so let's break it down. Numbers, right? So this brand I was speaking about just a minute ago, they're getting 25% of a place order rate, which is really healthy, like really what you want to see in a welcome series. People interested in making a purchase. They have a $481 AOV, high AOV product, right? The numbers would be similar with a low one, probably higher amount of leads of low AOV, right? You're still getting 62% of people or 40% of people dropping off, right? So for this brand, it was $19,000 in revenue they're losing every single month of just people who were trying to make a purchase that weren't coming in. 25% of this, 40 sales, bang, $19,000 a month, right? So it's $230,000 a year that this 7-figure brand was not getting in revenue, right? And then they're not a small brand, 7-figure brand, right? So like everybody's doing this. I've seen so many big brands doing this. It just blows my mind, right? That they add so much friction to the sales process, right? And I say minimum here because for this brand, January is kind of like a mid-month, right? Q1 for e-commerce is pretty brutal. So January for everyone's a bit tough. So like you're looking at Q4 numbers, like it could be costing these guys $500,000, right? It's just madness. And it's 2 settings. It takes you 5 minutes to change, right? So look at this, right? Here is from the dashboard. This is from the pop-up revenue. Always measure everything on revenue. If anyone measures anything on not on revenue, they're just covering for the fact they can't do anything, right? So, end of sales, end of year promotions drop off into normal. We come in, we do the audit around about here, just after the mid-month, and you just instantly see revenue just shoot back up, right? So like this actually has a higher return than what you might even think, right? Like the math says like it should go up, a certain amount of percentage points. But what's happening is the 62% of people who are bothering to do this, you're actually going to make it easy for them to buy. So that conversion rate of 25% that you saw earlier probably goes up higher. In fact, it looks like it does go up higher for this brand. So, even at like a conservative amount, that $19,000 is probably way higher. It's probably like $25,000 that this brand was costing by just having these settings set up, right? And so go in, take a look at your handshake, take a look at your pop-up, change it, get single opt-in, list hygiene, right, is how you overcome more people signing up and not opening. So, you should be doing this anyway, but, removing people who don't open emails, who aren't active on site, etc. Just focus on the revenue, focus on the sale. Don't worry about growing the email list. Don't worry about training people to open emails. If you ever have an agency that's like, oh, we're going to train your customers to open an email, your customers aren't monkeys. Stop treating them like animals. They don't need to be trained to open an email. Make better emails. Like just make the process easy for them to buy. Okay. So look, if you're interested, if you want me to take a look at this, I'll personally come in and take a look at your Klaviyo account. I'll tell you, hey, you're missing money here, you're missing money there. Tell you how to fix it. Just comment revenue. I'll send you a DM and we can get started.